Hi. I got a request for an emulsified tallow face cream, and it's probably one of my favoriteest things to make. I'm sure you've heard of tallow, and it's all the rage right now, but tallow on its own isn't very pleasant to use on the face. Like, a simple tallow balm with oils is extremely heavy and occlusive, and it can be a problem for people who are prone to breaking out. So we can solve that problem by making a lightweight emulsified face cream. If we just drop the tallow percentage and add in some humectants, then maybe a couple actives or extracts, which are completely optional, and then we have this pretty awesome face cream. I want you to be able to comfortably say, yeah, I can make this, and that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. That's the whole purpose of my YouTube channel, is to show you that you are more than capable of formulating your own products, whether you're a small business or a DIY formulator. I personally like my creams not greasy or super heavy. I want them hydrating, not sitting on my skin for hours feeling heavy, which is why we chose certain ingredients for this cream. So let's look at them. We have different phases. A is the water soluble ingredients, and B is the oil soluble, and C is usually the heat sensitive ingredients. For phase A, we're going to be using my homemade rose hydrosol, and I will be doing a video soon on how I make it. It's pretty easy other than time consuming. And we're going to be using glycerin. Glycerin's a humectant that helps draw moisture into the skin. And we can't forget our metal chelator to help boost the preservative, which we will be using sodium phytate. You can also use disodium EDTA. They both do the same thing. Phase B, we're going to do 4% tallow, which I think is the perfect percentage for face creams. You can go higher if you want, but it will make a heavier cream on the skin. 10% caprylic capric triglycerides, which is a medium chain triglyceride, basically a clear, odorless, non-greasy emollient. That's the best way to describe it. It plays into the lightweight skin feel of the cream. And for our emulsifier, we are going to be using Soft and Silky, which is cetearyl alcohol and ceteric alcohol. I prefer this emulsifying wax to regular emulsifying wax. It just has a better skin feel compared to the other one, which has more drag and waxiness. It also thickens, but we're going to be adding a thickener to get this nice and thick without using too much of the emulsifier to help with viscosity and thickness. We're going to be using behenyl alcohol. Behenyl is just like cetyl. It's an isolated fatty acid, but with behenyl, the skin feel is more powdery and lightweight compared to cetyl. So if you don't have it, you can totally use cetyl instead. Now the preservative I'm using is, hold on to your shorts, guys. It's a paraben. Oh no! Just kidding. But yes, I'm using phenonip today, which is a combination of phenoxyethanol, methylparaben, ethylparaben, and propylparaben. It's very effective, and it can go right into your oil phase before heating. You are free to use whatever preservative you're comfortable with. For our phase C, we're going to be adding mulberry extract because I love it for its skin brightening abilities. I make it myself from my mulberry tree. If you want to know how to make your own plant extracts, go watch this video. I will link it in the description. Can't forget vitamin E. And the tools you'll need are an immersion blender, heat-safe container, a pot to heat up, a pH reader, spatulas, a scale that can measure in 1 gram increments, and jars to store your cream. We always do 284 gram batches around here just because that's how we do it. And up until this point, I haven't been telling you all to weigh your water phases before heating. So I guess we'll start doing that just to be more proper and professional and all. Because you can lose a good amount of water from evaporation when you heat the phases. Okay, let's start by actually weighing out our beaker before we add our water ingredients. That way we can add whatever water loss we have from heating it. Write down the weight of your beaker. That way you can subtract it when you reweigh it. After that, we're going to weigh out our water. I'm going to use my homemade rose hydrosol, and then I'm going to add some glycerin and sodium phytate to that. Then we're going to move on to phase B. We're going to start with our tallow. This tallow I rendered myself, and no, it doesn't smell like beef. I'll be talking more about this soon, as I know many people have lots of questions about that. Tallow is amazing for skin, and it can be so great for certain skin types. Think of it as an animal-based cocoa butter because it's very close to the fatty acids in cocoa butter. Then we're going to be adding our capric caprylic triglycerides. then our soft and silky emulsifying wax, and our Behenyl alcohol. I strongly encourage you to buy a little bag of Behenyl alcohol and play around with it. And we get to add our preservative to our oil phase. That's kind of what I love about this preservative, is you can add it right into your oil phase before you heat everything. It's really easy. And don't forget to cover your water phase with foil before heating it. Now we're going to put these in a pan with water in a double broiler makeshift type thing, and we're going to heat until they are fully melted, which is usually about 160 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Be aware the emulsifying wax can take a while to melt. I like to stir it while it's melting to kind of speed things up. And while that's heating, we're going to get our phase C ingredients ready, which is just our mulberry extract and vitamin E. And we're going to cover that up too, because the extract is made with alcohol, so we don't want that to evaporate. When they are both fully melted, I will take my water phase off first, and we're going to weigh it. And then we're going to subtract the weight of the beaker, and then we're going to see if we need to add any more water back in. And believe it or not, I really didn't lose any water content. It's pretty much exactly the same, which I'm shocked because that never happens. So we're going to take both phases off the heat. My water was already off the heat, so now I'm going to take phase B off the heat. And I'm going to pour phase B into phase A and scrape everything out as much as you can. Then we're going to take out our immersion blender, and we're going to blend it really well in short 1 to 2 second spurts so it doesn't splash everywhere. Do this at least 10 times. You can do it more for good measure. And then we're going to let it cool. I like to check on it every 10 minutes or so while it's cooling, and it should start to thicken up. And it will look pretty clumpy at first as it's thickening up. I like to stir it during this time too. Once it fully thickens, it won't be clumpy anymore. Now, if it's cooling and not thickening at all, or it looks like it's separating, you need to use your immersion blender again immediately and ensure it's fully emulsified together and staying together. It's important to do this before it fully cools off. Then after about 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to come back and we can see how much thicker it is. It's pretty close to room temp at this point, and it's thickened up a lot. So now we can add our phase C ingredients, and we're going to add this a little bit at a time and mix, and then we're going to add the rest in and mix it really well. Once they are fully mixed in, we're going to check our pH. I personally love this pH reader. It's one that you can really just wipe off easily, and it's so much more convenient than some of the other cheaper pH readers that are harder to clean. We need our pH to be around 4.5 to 5.5, so we're going to test it, and if it's higher than that, then we need to drop it. And we can do that easily with a citric acid solution by doing a 1-to-1 ratio of citric acid to water. I do just a tiny little jar, and I try to save it so it lasts quite a while. We're going to add just a few drops at a time and stir it and let it sit for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to test it again. And we're going to do this until we are at the correct pH range. It can take up to 2 or 3 times. I personally like a 5.0 pH, but anywhere between 4.5 to 5.5 is fine. Now you have the option to let this sit overnight, and it will fully thicken by that point, probably a little bit more than it is now. But we're going to jar this up because why not? It's a YouTube video after all. And this texture is just what I was going for. It's a thick, creamy texture. I'm using this clear glass jar to store it in. It's a 2-ounce size. And you can just scoop and tap here to get it to settle on the bottom. Let's try a little bit out on our hand. I'll be using this tonight on my face. So it's very silky, it rubs in really easily, and it has a really nice skin feel, like a lightweight, silky lotion. And it doesn't take much to fully rub it in. And my skin feels, it does have that kind of signature powdery silky feeling that the Behenyl alcohol gives. It's not heavy at all. It's really nice and lightweight. This is a gorgeous cream. I know I'm going to enjoy using it. I'll have to give you all an update on how I like using it on my face. I hope you love this formula. Please try it and get back to me. I want to hear your thoughts, and enter any questions in the comments below or formula suggestions. I want to hear from you guys. Please like and subscribe, and all the links for everything will be in the description, including any related videos I mentioned. Bye bye for now.